The New York Stock Exchange is going to be welcoming more traders back to the floor starting Monday. Those who are fully vaccinated are exempt from certain restrictions. They'll be allowed to remove their face masks while they are seated, but they still have to continue to maintain social distancing of 6 feet or more. Joining us right now is New York Stock Exchange President Stacey Cunningham. And Stacey, it's good to see you. This is a pretty big deal, really the beginning of a big reopening, right?
We're excited, Becky. Thanks for having me on. It's great to see you and great to be here this morning. We've been open for almost a year, but we're excited by the progress we've been making across the country with the vaccine rollout. And so given the fact that so many more people are vaccinated now, we can start to ease off on some of the restrictions that we've had in place since we reopened last Memorial Day weekend.
How many people are on the floor now, and how many do you anticipate will be there starting Monday?
It's hard to predict how many will continue to come in. We're still roughly 50% capacity. But importantly, aside from just the reduced density that we have on the floor, we're requiring social distancing. So we've limited the opportunity for interactions on the trading floor and really restricted what traders are allowed to do. And so instead of requiring vaccines, what we're really saying is if you are vaccinated, you can have more people in your booth. So those brokers that are on the trading floor have their own spots on the floor where it's virtually their office. So if that particular office has more vaccinated people in it, they're all vaccinated, they can allow to have more of their coworkers come back and populate that space. And we've been getting a lot of requests over the past year to increase the number of people coming back so that they can actually get back to work on the trading floor. And they're excited to be able to finally have that opportunity.
You know, this is such a fine line that so many employers are kind of facing right now. Do I require vaccinations, or is there a way that I can kind of encourage it? You guys have gone with the latter, with offering carrots to get people to come back to do some of these things. How did you reach those rules? Was this constant polling of the members? What happened?
You know, it's managing the risk and looking at the information. I mean, I heard Dr. Gottlieb on your show earlier this morning. He's been working with us for the past year on our plans around how we reopen and giving us guidance and advice as we've thought about the trading floor. And he's been such a valuable asset for us. And just like he said on the show earlier today, looking at the circumstances, the prevalence, and the vaccine rollout, that's how you can start to lift some of those restrictions. It's really not just the traders on the floor, though, that we've also been seeing. Many of our companies that are coming in to celebrate that iconic IPO moment have been welcoming a broader part of their community as part of that celebration. And just to give you that sense of how people are feeling about this, when you see people coming together and knowing that they have the vaccine and that lower risk profile, they're so excited. I mean, I saw a company celebrating after they had left the exchange, and we had a party, and people were hugging, and so there's no sense in my mind that people are going to maintain a really distant future.
You know, I'm with you 100%. I think once you are vaccinated, it certainly changes people's perspective on things. But that gets down to the point of, do you feel safe around people who are not vaccinated? And obviously the risk has lowered drastically, especially as case count has come down in this country. But we don't know about the variants. And there are people who are looking to protect not themselves who have been vaccinated, but maybe young children who are more vulnerable, maybe kids who have issues who are vulnerable, other people who are going through chemo or facing other issues. How do you protect and make sure that protection is there? If you're having parties, you said everybody's vaccinated before you allow those things to happen. How did you kind of maneuver that? Because I think it's one thing to have people who are coming back to work. It's another thing to have lots of new people who are coming through constantly in the parties and all the things that happen with some of the bell-ringing moments. How do you handle all of that? Yeah,
well, I will say when we're talking about here at the New York Stock Exchange, we still have protocols in place and require distancing and masks. What I was talking about was afterwards when there was an offsite event, that there was a lot of celebration that the company was hosting themselves. And there are, I think, new tools you're going to see people using. Literally, I was at an event where people had, it was an outdoor event. They had bracelets to indicate your comfort level of how close, different colored bracelets. So green was you can come close to me, red was stay away. It was kind of a fun way to show how everyone feels differently during this period of time. The sign, I think, said, green, right, high five me, yellow, just talk to me, and red, stay away.
So you guys are not going to go the mandatory vaccination route, right? Is that off the table even if you get to the EUA?
Yeah, I mean, certainly under EUA, I don't see a need there. And frankly, what we've seen throughout this past year is the pace of change, the pace of new information, and the status has changed so quickly. So right now, we're encouraging people to get vaccinated. We're making it easier for them. They're going to get more benefits because of the reduced risk profile. But we're not going as far as to say you need to be vaccinated. We'll see what happens in the fall. We'll continue to monitor it. And we're following the local guidance and relying on expert advice from people like Dr. Gottlieb. So when we are still welcoming people in, we're limiting that risk. So all we're saying now is we have been requiring both a mask and social distancing. If you're vaccinated, you only need one of those things now. So still walking around the trading floor, people would be wearing masks. But when they're in their booth and they can be distant, they can take their masks off.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.